Hi, my name is Renee. This is my audience who refuses to be on camera.
Hi, I'm Dawn.
And this is my persuasive speech. You remember that time back in the early 2010s when a bunch of dystopian novels were being turned into movies? It was Maze Runner, Divergent, The Giver. There's one of these dystopian movies that stands out above the others, The Hunger Games. Now, there have been plenty of book-to-movie adaptations, specifically like Harry Potter and Twilight as being some of the popular ones. The only problem with these adaptations is they either change information from the books or don't include all of the information from the books. And this causes the story to seem like inaccurate or too rushed, or it just doesn't make sense. The Hunger Games is one of the few adaptations that does not fall victim to this. Instead, the changes that are made tend to enhance the movie and actually make it easier to follow. Now, over spring break, I did binge watch all of the movies, and I reread the first book. So I did notice that some of these changes that were made, they made the movie easier to follow and worked better in the format of the movie. Now today I'll be talking about why Hunger Games is one of the best book-to-movie adaptations, and for time's sake I'll only be talking about the first book and movie. Now first, I'll be talking about the shift from first-person point of view in the books to third-person point of view in the movie. Then I'll be talking about the portrayal of violence in the movie, and finally how well the actors play their characters. Firstly, the book is told from Katniss's point of view, so we get her thoughts, her feelings, her emotions, but in the movie we don't get this. It's not told from her point of view. We get a third-person point of view. And so to make up for this lack of her thoughts and emotions, in order to convey this information in the context of the movie, we have narrators. We have TV show hosts, Caesar Flickerman and Claudius Templesmith, who act as narrators for the games, for the Hunger Games. Now, according to the book The Fantastic Made Visible from 2015, this employment of media is an addition that the films have provided, as the first-person novel presented entirely of this information from only Katniss's point of view. But switching to the third-person perspective for the film allows more exposure to this tool in the story. Now, by using the context of the story and these characters within that context, it allows for that information to be conveyed in a way that doesn't stand out. It blends in with the way the story is told. The fact that The Hunger Games is a TV show. It's told as something that should be put on the TV, and the entire country has to watch it. The capital, all the districts, and those people may not understand everything that the tributes are encountering while in the arena. For instance, Katniss knows a lot about plants and animals because she's a hunter, but we don't know that as the audience or we don't know her information as the audience because she knows it. It's in her head. And so to make up for that, we have the TV show host to explain those things for us as the audience watching the movie, and also as the audience of the characters within the movie. And this is done very effectively, as it is integrated into the movie in a very efficient way. Next, I'll be talking about how violence is portrayed in the movie. Now, you would expect a book that's about children killing children to have a very violent movie adaptation. And while there are several deaths on screen, they aren't glorified. Now, according to the video from April of 2012 from Frequent Feminist's website, the violence in the movie is not sensationalized. It's actually diminished in the movie, and it's not something that should be celebrated, which is good because in the books, it's not something that should be celebrated. It's horrifying and despicable because the capital is sending these children to go kill each other for something that happened decades ago in Panem's history. Now, according to Balkin's book from Fan Phenomena, The Hunger Games from 2015, author Suzanne Collins, who wrote The Hunger Games, said in a video, "There's this potential for desensitizing the audience so that when they see real tragedy playing out on the news, it doesn't have the impact it should." Now, the movie really balances well with this, while showing that violence and having the deaths, but also not desensitizing the audience by making it overly gory. And they really make it seem as solemn and jarring as it really is, because these are kids killing other kids. And this is very evident when the death of Rue occurs in the movie, as even though you do see her get killed, we see her wound, but it's only for a few seconds, and it's not overly bloody or gory. And instead, the scene focuses on Katniss and her final moments with Rue and Katniss's reaction to her death. Finally, I'll be talking about how accurately the actors portray their characters. Now, Katniss, obviously being the main character, is played by Jennifer Lawrence, and she actually does a phenomenal job. For instance, in The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins from 2008, when Katniss finds out that her sister Prim is being raped, she reacts by saying, "There must have been some mistake. This can't be happening. Prim was one slip of paper in thousands. Her chances of being chosen is so remote that I'd not even bothered to worry about her. Hadn't I done everything?" And while these emotions and these thoughts are not seen in the movie, you can tell by Jennifer Lawrence's ability to reflect these emotions on her face and through her body language. You're able to read her thoughts and understand what she's going through. And she does this amazingly throughout the movie. And you can see this again later on in the movie when she's in the arena and it's announced that two tributes from the same district can win the games. You watch Katniss take in this information, process it, and come to the realization, I need to go find Peeta. Another character that's played really well is President Snow. Now, even though he doesn't have a lot of screen time, Donald Sutherland, who plays President Snow, dominates every scene he's in. He is able, through the way that he delivers his dialogue and his body language, he is able to depict this character as being dangerous and will do anything to keep the power that he has. And he actually has more of a role in the movie because it's told from the third-person point of view. He has scenes where he reacts to things going on in relation to Katniss in the games, and he actually ends up becoming a more fleshed-out character in the movie because of that change in perspective. And overall, Donald Sutherland does an amazing job playing the snake-like character of President Snow. In conclusion, The Hunger Games is a very successful book-to-movie adaptation for several different reasons. First, it's in the ability to shift from the first-person point of view to the third-person point of view, also because of the way that it portrays violence in the non-glorified way and in a more accurate way that shows how awful it really is. And finally, because of the actors' ability to really accurately and embody the characters that they play. Out of all the movies that came out in the early 2010s, Hunger Games is one of the few that you can come back to again and again and never get bored. Thank you very much.